Could you please tell us what's happening now with BREEAM? How is the situation in Europe and other countries?
Well, we're seeing a real growth in BREEAM at the moment, and I think that's because we're taking a lot of time to ensure that as we work with organisations, we work with green building councils, we're taking our core scheme and we're adapting it to reflect the local situation. And I think that's really important, because if we're going to drive change around the built environment, we need to have assessment methodologies which take account of local culture, take account of local regulation, and also in a process which allows the industry to engage with what that looks like, so that if we look at regulation here, it's very, very different to regulation in other countries. Even though we might share some issues which are being pushed by the EU, there are some very, very particular issues which you need to ensure that the industry understand. So that the power of BREEAM at the moment and the rate of adoption we're seeing is very much about our philosophy, our internal philosophy about working with people locally to adapt it. And I think what's also important is when we look at sustainability, we need to make sure we look at the sustainability across the whole life cycle of a building. So we need to look at not just the new building assessment methodology, we need to look at how we create more sustainable communities. We need to create places that people want to work and live. So you can have a great building, but if the second you leave the building you're not walking into a space that also is sustainable, you're almost creating an environment which is somewhat surreal. The other important point as well is, as we look at sustainability, we've got to make sure that we maintain the credentials of a building. So a building in use, we need to make sure that we actually improve the performance. And I think the debates we've had here today have been really powerful in terms of understanding how we look and work with existing building stock to make sure we drive the performance around those issues. So there's a lot of really good things going on with BREEAM. We're doing a lot of work to engage people, to reflect what they need from us. And so it's exciting times, really exciting times.
There is a BREEAM in use system, which is also now becoming even to Czech Republic. Yes. So how is the situation in other countries?
We are going to just launch in a few months' time the international version of BREEAM in use, which has taken account of the information that's been provided to us. So we've been working with a lot of experts to make sure that we can create an assessment tool for existing buildings which works in any country. And that's actually been quite a challenge for us, because that means that we take lots of the regulation from a country and the energy mix and we adapt the tool, so the second you register your building, it helps you self-assess the building based on your local circumstance. One thing that's really important for me in this debate is to make sure the tools that we create really drive improvement. So this isn't about a certificate, this is about trying to understand what do I have as a building and what measures can I take within that space to improve it. So this is about helping a facilities team and a group of people in a building to really improve. So we're seeing a massive uptake of BREEAM in use at the moment, because it's a very cost-effective tool, so its cost is low, but it can lead to internal action plans to drive improvements which are measurable and tangible, and also certification, so you can demonstrate to your shareholders and your organisation how well you're doing. So it has a really clever mix in terms of looking at the potential of your building and allowing you to actually drive change.
Some people may say that it's a fashion, that it's just a trend. What would you tell them about it?
I suppose for me, what I really want to see happen is I want sustainability to be something that everybody holds close to them. So I don't want it to be an exception. I don't want it to be the exceptional buildings, just one or two buildings in a city, to be BREEAM rated or to be rated by any rating tool. I want every building to take sustainability seriously, because what's important is sustainability isn't just about protecting the environment and improving the building in terms of the environmental issues. It's also about getting the efficiency of the building, getting a good return from your building. It's about creating a great living space, a great working space for people to work in. And it's about all the sustainability aspects of building to drive change. So it should never be a minority issue. It shouldn't be a trendy thing to do. It should be something we should be passionate about and something that everybody should be able to access.